contrast puts the eternalness in eternity. It matters so much. It's necessary to step one. It's essential to step one. And without the question, there cannot be an answer. Without contrast, there cannot be asking for more. It matters so much that you said, me, I want to go into the contrast, into the leading edge contrast, because I want to be a viable, integral part of taking thought beyond where it has ever been before. Contrast is such a good thing. Not just good, necessary. Not just good, essential. It's like when you go to a buffet and there's that variety. And even though there are things that you don't want to eat, you don't say to them, throw all of that away. I don't want it there. Well, just don't put it on your plate. Well, it might get on my plate by accident. I might not be watching what I'm doing, and I might get it on my plate. Well, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't put stuff on your plate that you don't want. And if you get something in your mouth and it doesn't taste good, don't do it again. Let's put this into a very clear perspective. Of course, we've established that contrast exists. But from contrast, there will be a vibrational bounce that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Because out of knowing what you don't want, you know what you do want. And when you focus upon what you do want, you get more of that. And so when someone says that rain is necessary, we want to clarify that within all of it, you don't have options about what the conditions around you may be, but you have options about what practiced vibrational stance you have coming into it. Once you've shown yourself what meditation is and what alignment is and what clear guidance is, then you almost embrace contrast. We watch you. We watch the most evolved physical specimens of your species play themselves against the others in order to prove prowess, maybe, to win tournaments, maybe, but mostly it's this innate natural understanding that when you experience that sort of contrast, a stronger desire is born, and that stronger desire summons more source energy resolve, which leads to not only more satisfaction, but to more. If you can start with the understanding that the dominant mantra or premise of all that isness, we're talking about from the inner being part of you that made the decision to come into this physical experience again, that your strongest awareness is, your strongest request is for more. More life, more fun, more being, more experience, more love, more existence, more opportunity, more being, more, not less, not cease to be, continue to be. Ask yourselves, is eternity what your quest is, or ending of all things your quest? That's not a hard thing for anyone to answer. The moreness is what is so innate within you. And necessary to moreness is variety that causes you to choose something uniquely more. You didn't come to regurgitate what is. You came to ask for more than what is. Because until you can fashion its vibrational existence out of what now exists, it cannot become then a physical reality. So the environment that exists that you perceive with your physical senses is what inspires you to a quest for more. When someone's rude, you want them to be nicer. When someone's threatening, you want them to stop. Everything causes a desire to be born within you. And as this mass consciousness of billions of people, and it's not just the people, there's all manner of life on this planet that are sending out these requests. These requests are answered, each and every one. And you are thriving as a result of all of that. But there is more human suffering while this system is working perfectly than is necessary. And that's why your quest for happiness, you're asking for happiness, someone like us who clarifies how the process works, because you would not have to know any of this. You don't have to know about law of attraction for it to have its way with you any more than you need to know about gravity, or if you don't know, you'll just fly up everywhere. Why is that person floating around? Oh, he doesn't know about gravity yet. Well, that's not how it works. Gravity responds to him too. And law of attraction responds to everyone too. So you don't need to know about this stuff. It's showing itself to you. The laws of the universe are demonstrating themselves to you all day, every day. So you don't need to know this in order for contrast to cause you to want something more. So you build a vortex without even knowing that you are. There's a vibrational reality that you've been building from the beginning of your existence. And you don't need to know about it for you to build it. And your inner being is responding to it. And your inner being has been there shining the bright light of what you've asked for. You didn't even need to know that that was there because your happy heart led you there again and again and again and again and again. It's the perfect setup. Your natural innate quest for feeling good will lead you to the expansion that the contrast has provided. It just doesn't get any better than that. You don't need to know about any of that if your happy heart is what's leading you. But so many of you have given up being led by your happy heart. You want to motivate yourself. There have been other things that have taken a stronger thing. No problem. All that did is make you ask for happiness more. There's nothing that makes you renew your quest for happiness more than unhappiness. And so this can't go wrong. Whether you are in this room and hearing these words and understanding the laws of the universe and the way it all works and the way you hook up with you and what your emotional guidance system is, you don't need to know any of this to succeed magnificently. There's just one little thing. Most humans are not that happy along the way. So you have contrast and you launch rockets, and the next generation benefits from what you put in the vortex because they come in and they don't have beliefs that fight it. But wouldn't you like the generation that gave birth to it to be the one that receives the benefit of it? Wouldn't you like to be the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it beneficiary of your own hopes and dreams? Wouldn't you like to create your own reality deliberately? Well, that's what you said, and that's why we came. There is no problem that is not life-giving. Because every problem summons a solution, and the solution is that life coming, you see. I'll focus on the problem, but I will be one who becomes solution-oriented faster. Your world is in a place today where so much is right before you for you to contemplate, but so much of the world stays hammering at the problems and pushing against one another when there's all this juicy stuff that you just most recently put into the vortex. Life is extra, 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 extra ripe and ready for the plucking for those who are in the receiving mode and ready. Such a blessed, wonderful thing, because negative emotion is pointing out to me how wise my inner being is, how much my inner being loves me, how much work has been done on the solution that I'm not focused upon. You can't feel negative emotion without its counterpart being right there ready for you. The way Esther plays that out for herself is that when something happens and she knows she's wobbling, she'll say, boy, last time this happened, I was a week in turmoil, and this time it was 5 minutes. In other words, just acknowledge the degree of steadiness that you've accomplished and how much less suffering is happening because you're not in that discordant place, not for long. So here's a sort of a silly, but it'll do the job analogy. So you live in a house and the house isn't really what you want. And so you get some ideas about what you want. So you move into another house and it's a lot better, but it still isn't what you really want. And so you move into another house and it's a lot better, but it still isn't what you really want. And you wonder, seems like that first house should have helped me get clear about what I want. But no, I was lazy. I wasn't very defining. In fact, I didn't speak enough about what I liked about the house. And so the second house was a little better, but not that much better. Well, what we're getting at here is you find more clarity, more clarification. It's like life is the great clarifier. It helps you to define the question. And we want to ask you, if you don't have a question, could there be an answer? And isn't the question important to the answer? Isn't a clear question essential to a clear answer? So isn't getting back into contrast always going to be important and valuable? And shouldn't you therefore embrace it as an important part of the clarifying process? Conceptually, it makes sense. Yeah, I can see how contrast, but instead of going to that thought, which I'm thinking right now, which seems like a really good thought, I don't. I default to I'm not good instead. I default to the thought that I've thought the longest in my life. I'm not good. I'm not good at this. I'm not doing a good job. I should be doing better. Others are doing better. That's the thought that you default to, even though there is an active thought that in time will be the dominant active thought, and it is the dominant active thought of your inner being. And so when it is the dominant active thought of your inner being, but it's not the dominant thought of you, what do you feel? Negative emotion. So what's the negative emotion telling you? Oh, my inner being feels differently about this. I'm choosing to say I'm not good at this and that I should be doing better and that this contrast shouldn't be happening to me. And my inner being is saying, great job. That is evidence of what I had going on. And what I had going on was not being willing to vie for my own well-being, to ask for what I want. You're all trained, Esther too, especially Esther, to be of service and to give up her seat for someone else. She's given up her first-class seat for someone who could use it better so many times because their foot was hurting or their seat was awkward or they wanted to sit next to their mate or they were sick. So many times because somewhere in your experience you have taught yourself that service is about sacrifice, and it never is. Service is about alignment so that you've got something to serve with. So when you're rolling along, feeling good and things are going good, and then you step into some contrast, next time it will be easier for you as you say, I'm not taking this very well. I'm not doing a good job of step 5 because I've slipped back into step 1 and I'm mad at myself. I'm not joyful about the clarifying experience. We want so much for you to understand. If you had any idea how often you get into alignment and your inner being leads you right into trouble for more clarification. It takes a lot of experience before you really know that. Meanwhile, you've just got to accept things are always working out for you no matter how it looks. No matter how it looks, things are working out for you. And somehow this contrast is part of things working out for you. So when your inner being sees that you got that thing going, that you've primed that pump, then you're going to have lots of experiences for clarification. If we were standing in your shoes, any of your shoes, and we were in a bad mood because something had happened and we're focused upon it and you just can't feel good looking at that and you don't have the self-discipline yet to look away, and that's all right. It surprised you. Now you're looking at it. And so someone you care about observes you in this negative frame of mind. We'd like you to look right at him and say, I'm in a really bad mood because I'm not allowing myself to be who I really am, because I'm looking at something in a way that my larger self is not seeing. Now, you don't need to say all of those words to them, but you want to mean it when you look at them. I'm in a bad mood. And then say, if you'll excuse me for a little bit, I'm going to go off, get myself back in alignment, and when I do, I'll be back. Then go. Get in alignment and come back, because it is our promise. If you try to get back into alignment while you're standing in front of people who have already evaluated you and decided that you're not in alignment, that's the hardest possible place to be in. Don't do it in front of them, but tell them what you're doing. I'm out of whack. Gonna go get back into whack. I'll be back. I'll be back when I'm back in whack. That's a wrap.